The story you're about to see is a big, fat lie. No names have been changed to protect anybody.
Let's get ready to rumble!
And now, the USCFL Network, in association with YouTube, presents the USCFL Postgame Show. Here's once again is Robbie Graham.
Greetings, cartoon and football fans. This is Robbie Graham of the USCFL Network welcoming you to the quarterfinals, along with the action and highlights of Week 13 of the USCFL's 2023 season. If you're joining us for the first time, may we extend to you a cordial welcome, and we hope you'll enjoy everything this channel has to offer. We also invite you to take a moment to subscribe to this channel and join our team. We strive to be one of YouTube's least offensive channels by providing a different spin about your favorite cartoon characters from the past and present that doesn't reflect on their true legacies. If your favorite character or characters aren't mentioned in our videos, please leave a comment and we will answer your questions. Also be sure to ring the bell to alert you of when we put up any new videos. The USCFL is now part of Patreon, and you can help support us for as low as $3 US a month to as much as $5 US a month. In time, we can offer merchandise and other perks to help show your love for America's oldest fantasy football league. To our fans and friends in the United States, may we wish you an early happy 4th of July. And to our Canadian friends and fans, we hope your Canada Day was happy, healthy, and most importantly, safe. After a short break, we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 25 between the Nickelodeon All-Stars and the Jim Henson All-Stars in again what could be their final USCFL game from Denver. Welcome back. Before we talk about Friday's game, let's point something out. Of the 8 quarterfinalists, 5 of them are undefeated. They are Nickelodeon, the Modern Cartoon All-Stars, DreamWorks, DC Comics, and Filmation. And of the 8 quarterfinalists, 5 of the teams are quarterbacked by 5 female characters. They are Izzy, Princess Fiona, Wonder Woman, She-Ra, and Gem. It's going to be an interesting set of final games this season. Now for what happened on Friday night. Once again, the Jim Henson All-Stars could have faced elimination and end their tenure in the USCFL. And the Nickelodeon All-Stars were looking to continue onward as they have never made it to the quarterfinals since the Disney Bowl format was created. Somehow we lost most of the second half footage and the game had to be replayed. But the replayed game almost mirrored the lost game in terms of scoring. The score should have been 43-24 in favor of Jim Henson. But here's what happened in the completed game. In the first quarter, Nickelodeon got on the board first and quickly as SpongeBob SquarePants found Sandy Cheeks for the 4th straight time from 69 yards out to go up 7-0. The 42 seconds was the fastest score in the history of the Nickelodeon All-Stars. Midway through the quarter, SpongeBob threw a second touchdown pass to tight end Kitty Catswell of Tough Puppy to go up 14-0. 4 minutes later, Jim Henson cut the lead in half as Kermit the Frog threw a 16-yard touchdown pass to tight end Big Bird to trail 14-7 after the first quarter. In the second quarter, Sam Manson kicked a pair of field goals with a single field goal by Rolf in between as Nickelodeon was up 20-10. Just before halftime, Kermit threw his second touchdown pass to Fozzie Bear as Jim Henson trailed 20-17 at halftime. In the third quarter, Sam Manson and Rolf made another field goal sandwich with a pair of field goals each as Nickelodeon was up 26-23 at the end of the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, it was all Jim Henson as Miss Piggy ran the ball in from 3 yards out as Jim Henson led for the first time 30-26. Then her backup running back, Abby Kadabi of Sesame Street, ran the ball in from 3 yards out to go up 37-26. Just past the 2-minute warning, Miss Piggy ran the ball in for the second time from 16 yards out as Jim Henson won 44-26. Jim Henson will advance to the semifinals while Nickelodeon is eliminated from the tournament and finishes in 8th place, their best finishing so far in the Disney Bowl format. And not only will Jim Henson advance to the semifinals, but whether they win or lose, they will get one more game and finish out one final full season. As for the stats in this game, beginning with Nickelodeon, SpongeBob finished 17 of 30 for 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He also rushed for 72 yards on 10 carries. Danny Phantom rushed for 134 yards on 27 carries. Sandy Cheeks led the receivers with 5 receptions for 137 yards and 1 touchdown. Timmy Turner of the Fairly Odd Parents led the defense with 9 tackles. Sam Manson finished with 14 points. For Jim Henson, Kermit the Frog finished 30 of 44 for 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Miss Piggy, the game MVP, rushed for 176 yards on 33 carries and 2 touchdowns. Gonzo led the receivers with 7 catches for 119 yards. The Cookie Monster led the defense with 8 tackles, 4 assists, 2 sacks, and 1 fumble recovery. Rolf also finished with 14 points. And here are the highlights of this game, courtesy of EA Sports.
What are you looking at?
After a short break, we will talk about and present the highlights of the most thrilling game this season of Game 26 between the Modern Cartoon All-Stars and Team Canada from Edmonton. Welcome back. Saturday was Canada Day, their version of the 4th of July. It was ironic that Team Canada would play on the country's Independence Day. This has never happened before in their 12 years in the league. While they were looking for their place in the semifinals, the Modern Cartoon All-Stars have played 3 virtually flawless games. They too, like Nickelodeon, were looking to advance and remain undefeated. However, both teams didn't know what to expect in this game once it began. The only score of the first quarter was a 47-yard field goal by Sailor Moon as the Modern team led 3-0. In the second quarter, Josie Garcia of 16 tied the score with a field goal of his own. On the ensuing kickoff, Amy Rose from Sonic the Hedgehog returned the ball back for a touchdown from 101 yards out, the third kickoff return for a touchdown this season, and the second in a row as the Modern team led 10-3 just 12 seconds later. The Modern team extended the lead 3 minutes later as Sonic the Hedgehog threw a 10-yard touchdown pass to fullback the Tick to go up 17-3. Sailor Moon got her second field goal to go up 20-3. But Team Canada did come back before the half. Izzy threw an 8-yard touchdown pass to Bridget, and with Josie Garcia's second field goal, Team Canada trailed 20-13 at halftime. Team Canada dominated the third quarter with Josie Garcia's third field goal and Izzy's second touchdown pass to Gwen from 59 yards out as Team Canada led for the first time 23-20 at the end of the third quarter. At the start of the fourth quarter, Team Canada tried a fake punt but failed to get the first down, and the Modern team took over. This gave Sailor Moon a chance to put up 2 more field goals and then 1 more field goal by Josie Garcia. The game resulted in a 26-26 tie at the end of regulation. 4 minutes into overtime, Sailor Moon's 5th field goal gave the Modern team the lead. With the rule the NFL instated and that the USCFL follows, overtime is no longer sudden death unless a touchdown is scored first. So on the ensuing kickoff, just 7 seconds later, kick returner Caitlin Cook of 16 fumbled the return and was recovered by backup middle linebacker Mr. Mackey of South Park and ran the ball in from 17 yards out as the Modern team won 35-26 in a thrilling finish. The Modern team, now 4-0, will advance to the semifinals, while Team Canada, despite a valiant effort, is eliminated from the tournament and finishes in 7th place. As for the stats in this thrilling game, beginning with the Modern Cartoon All-Stars, Sonic the Hedgehog finished 22 of 35 for 178 yards and 1 touchdown. Kyle Broflovsky rushed for 151 yards on 33 carries. Sailor Mars led the receivers with 4 catches for 53 yards. Mr. Mackey, the player of the game, with the game-winning touchdown off of a fumble recovery. Sailor Jupiter led the defense with 6 tackles and 6 assists. Sailor Moon finished with 17 points. Amy Rose gets a shout-out for returning 3 kickoff returns for 146 yards and the 101-yard return for a touchdown. For Team Canada, Izzy finished 35 of 59 for 419 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. Harold rushed for 135 yards on 28 carries. He also caught 6 passes for 61 yards. Bridget led the defense with 7 receptions for 93 yards and 1 touchdown. Scott from Total Drama Revenge of the Island led the defense with 5 tackles, 2 assists, and 2 sacks. Jonesy Garcia finished with 14 points. And here are the highlights of this overtime thriller, courtesy of EA Sports. After a short break, we will continue our series of player profiles with a franchise profile as we will explore the gnarly history of the cast of the show Stoked.
Two girls for every boy. I bought a 30-foot wagon and we call it a Woody. Surf City, here we come. You know it's not a fairy cherry, it's an oldie but a goodie. Surf City, here we come. Well, it ain't got a backseat or a rear window, but it still gets me where I wanna go. Here we go, Surf City, 'cause it's 201. Something going. Surf City, here we come. You know they're either out surfing or they got a party growing.
Welcome back. The characters on Team Canada only comes from 4 shows. 3 of them were created by the same pair of creators. For this week's profile, we will profile one of these shows as we will profile the cast from the show Stoked. And here's word to tell us about this show, as well as their time in the USCFL.
Stoked is a Canadian animated series produced by Fresh TV that premiered on Teletoon on June 25, 2009, and ended on January 26, 2013. It aired on Teletoon in Canada, ABC3 in Australia, and on Cartoon Network in the US. The series is from the same creators as 16 and the Total Drama series. Stoked is a character-driven animated situational comedy about a group of Groms who come together one summer on the legendary Surfers Paradise Hotel in British Columbia to experience the ultimate surfer's dream, the endless summer. Emma, Reef, and Finn join locals Broseph, Lo, her brothers Ty and George, and Johnny to work at the world-renowned Surfers Paradise Ridgemount Resort, stoked to have the best summer of their lives. But instead, they find the worst jobs ever, hideous uniforms, zero respect, a rundown staff house, and a tacky, fake, Cooksville resort. For 12 weeks, they will spend their first summer away from home and work the hardest that they have ever worked in their lives, but most importantly, they have the opportunity to surf on their days off. As for their time in the USCFL, they joined the league in 2012 along with selected characters from both 16 and the Total Drama series. Although only one character is a starter, which is middle linebacker Finn McLeod, the other characters are backup quarterbacks, receivers, or on defense. But they were part of Team Canada's championship run in 2021 as they became the league's first ever international champions. The following is a brand new video showing the cast of the show doing what they love best, surfing. Although there's no surfing in football, but these intrepid characters have made waves in this unique football league where cartoons and football come together.
The summer's on, and I've been living on the beach. Left my shoes and all my troubles far away. Been waiting all year to be here, to ride the wave of the water frontier. Time to go big or go home. And I ain't going home, 'cause summer's on. And I'll be living on the beach. Left my shoes and all my troubles far away. 'Cause summer's on. The ocean's underneath my feet. And if the sun is out, I'll ride the waves all day. Catch a wave and you're sitting on top of the world. Don't be afraid to try the greatest sport around. Catch a wave, catch a wave. Those who don't just have to put it down. catch a wave and you're sitting on top of the world. Not just a fad, cause it's been going on so long. Catch a wave, catch a wave. They say it won't last too long. They'll eat their words with a fork and spoon and watch them. They'll hit the road and all be surfing soon. And when they catch a wave, they'll be sitting on top of the world. Catch a wave and you're sitting on top of the world. So take a lesson from a top-notch surfer boy. Catch a wave, but don't you treat it like a toy. Just get away from the shady turf and baby, go catch some rays on the sunny surf. And when you catch a wave, you'll be sitting on top of the world. Catch a wave, you'll be sitting on top of the world. Catch a wave, you'll be sitting on top of the world. Catch a wave, you'll be sitting on top of the world.
After one final break, we will reveal the answer to last week's trivia question, this week's question, and a preview of the other two quarterfinal games. Welcome back. Now for the answer to last week's trivia question. We pointed out that Wilma Flintstone appeared in a famous 2005 commercial for Dove shampoo along with two other Hanna-Barbera characters, and which two were they? If you guessed Velma Dinkley and Jane Jetson, you are correct. Although Daphne Blake and Smurfette have long, beautiful hair, they both have been shown to have a regimen of their own to keep their hair looking good. Now for this week's question. The category is Maestro, if you please. The degree of difficulty is Pro. The themes of some cartoon shows are famous, and most of us can either sing or hum these themes. But certain characters have had songs written about them that have had nothing to do with the shows they're on. Of the four, which character didn't have a song written about them that wasn't a TV show theme? Is the correct answer A, She-Ra, B, Kim Possible, C, Daphne Blake, or D, the Flintstones? We'll have the answer for you next week. And that will wrap things up for Week 13 of the USCFL's 2023 season. Next week, the quarterfinals will continue and conclude with 3 of the 4 teams being undefeated and all 4 with female quarterbacks, as we will talk about and present the highlights of Game 27 between the undefeated DreamWorks All-Stars playing in their first official away game against the undefeated DC Comics All-Stars from Kansas City, and the highlights of Game 28 between the undefeated Filmation All-Stars and the 80s All-Stars in a game we call Disney Bowl 5.5 from Miami, and we will explain what we mean by that, along with another player profile in the USCFL. Remember to support us on Patreon for as low as $3 a month. And until next Sunday, this is Robbie Graham of the USCFL Network wishing you peace. To all our friends and fans in the United States, we wish you an early, happy 4th of July. Take care and stay safe.
All the characters and franchises mentioned throughout this webcast remains the copyright of their respective owners. They were used for the purpose of entertainment and or education, and therefore no breach of any copyright laws were intended. This webcast is protected under copyright and must not be rewritten, re-recorded, rebroadcast or re-uploaded in whole or in part without the prior written consent of First and 10 Productions, the American Association of Animation, and the United States Cartoon Football League. Copyright 2023.